Hello and welcome back to Captain of Industry. Last time we got our microchip. Yep, got our microchip production chain set up. I said at the time I wasn't very happy with this, and I'm not very happy with this. So we're going to just do this. Boop. All gone. All gone. Don't want any of that. It's all a disaster. I did have a cheeky look at some of the sort of the blueprints that are available. To find out what I did wrong last time, what could be fixed over here. So we're just going to get rid of all of that. Lovely stuff. Off you go. And if we pop over to our little blueprint design area, so this is what we had originally. Well, this isn't what we had originally. We had something much neater, but that's no good. We don't want that. What we want is this. So 3 machines set in parallel. So it's something I sort of hinted towards thinking about last time, where we have machines set up so they are doing the recipes with the matching inputs. So all the acid and water ones are in here, which happens to be all the stage 1As, I believe. Yes. And then most importantly, I think this is the most important part, is setting them in reverse order. So it prioritizes the later stages of the production. Because if you have this one at the top, it'll just always be making 1As from silicon wafers, because it's always going to get silicon wafers in. So it's important to have those reversed. Very important. Same over here. All the plastic and copper ones with all of those there. And then over here, all the gold ones, again in reverse order. Lovely. And then the outputs go into a sorter, which takes out the microchips. Everything else is fed back in, and then goes into a balancer, which prioritizes the outputs from the machines. So it's sort of what I had, not quite. It's sort of what I was thinking towards. I don't know if I'd ever got to the point where I thought, oh, we should get them all in doing the same things and then stick them together. I probably would have got myself confused doing like a loop of belts around for each one and trying to feed it all in. But this is exactly what we want. So I'm going to take a copy of that. We're going to bring that over here. We're going to put the crystallizer right on top of itself. Whoop. There we go. It's lost a few of the belts in the process. That's all right. We can fix that easy enough. 1, 2, 3. And it's also lost some of the pipes. So let's fix the pipes as well. Just like that. And then we probably don't need a box all the way over there. So let's get a unit storage 2. We'll put this out of the way just a little bit so that it's not completely in the way of the slag box, and then we'll bring this back to here, connect that to there, get rid of that, excellent, and then unity that, unity that, unity that, and unity all of that if we can. If not, just pause it, but I think we can. Perfect. We need to, while I think about it, while I'm talking about Unity, we need to pause the sulfur mine. We don't actually need that anymore. It does have a full load in there for us to go and pick up should we need it. Hopefully we won't, and then we could sit here and watch this, but I have already tested this. I did actually build this and test it and watch a while, just to appease myself that it was going to work as I hoped. So this is what we're going to have now. So it's going to take... so it's outputs 12, but there's 3, so 4. So we're going to get 4 a minute from each, I think something like that. Anyway, that's that sorted. Something else we haven't checked on in quite some time was the tree harvesting over on this side of the island. They finished tree harvesting 400 years ago, and I did not even notice. I think they automatically went and started harvesting the trees. All of the tree harvesters are in this area, so I think they all started going in there and harvesting those. But we're going to bring them all back over here and just say finish clearing off all of that. Perfect. What else is going on? We want to get these done and these upgraded today. That's going to be quite important, so we can actually start researching this. The other thing I was thinking was I was dotting around. I was like, there's a big chimney stack there. What is this big chimney stack doing? This big chimney stack is taking in CO2 from these, I think it is. Yes, from the hydrogen reformers. well, we can use that CO2 elsewhere. So we're going to use that CO2 elsewhere. So we're going to break this. Because we don't want it going into a smokestack. We want to take that away with us. I think that should be a Mark II. Yeah, we're on Mark II. Okay, so we're going to bring this over to... I'm going to turn off the snapping. We're going to bring that over to there. Bring that up to height 3. Yes. And then we need to get it over there somewhere. So if we bring this over to here... I was going to say, it's not height 3 available all the way through there, is there? No, of course there's not. That would be crazy. So let's just bring that here and over to here and look at the stupid pillars it's putting in. And then we want to just plug this into here. Whether that means we need a bigger pipe here. If that one's already a Mark III, that one almost certainly has to be a Mark III. So let's do that. And I think I just made that whole pipe Mark III. Oh no, I didn't. It's all fine. So there we go. So now that CO2 from here will be chucked over here instead. It will go into the scrubber system, which is just here, which is much better for us. Well, I'll go into the balancer first, where then it will get scrubbed if it can be, or it'll be vented if nothing else can happen to it. There is not really a reason that it should be being vented. So I don't know why we have stuff being vented there. Other than perhaps we have so much CO2 coming in that it can't get through the pipes fast enough. That's definitely not prioritized, is it? No, it prioritizes this output. Because of course this generates CO2. So I was talking about the exhaust scrubbers, but this actually generates the CO2. Ah, that's because it's trying to put the CO2 once it's got it. It goes all the way back over here into this. Ah, maybe we didn't need that pipe going all that way. We could have just brought it in over here. Ah, well. It's in the system now. Anything else we can do with CO2? Well, we could turn it into ethanol. Did we talk about that last time? No, we haven't. That was something I did in between. We'll come back to that in a minute. Or we could turn it into fuel gas and a tiny bit of water. But I don't know. That'll probably be fine for now. Something else we probably want to think about is taking a little bit of hydrogen and a little bit of nitrogen and making extra ammonia just to boost our fertilizers. I think that would be a very good idea. If we pick this one up and plop this one, let's give it 2 spaces. Its inputs are at the back. It needs hydrogen and nitrogen. Well, nitrogen we can get from here. If we break this and then take a copy of that and just pop that there for the moment, and then get a fluid balancer and pop that in there. Ah, the magnet is off, which is why that's confusing everything. Pop that one in there, and that one goes into here, and then take another one. None of these need to be... Oh, I love that. I love that so much. Because this only generates 36, so yeah, Mark 1 is absolutely fine. So we can take the Mark 1 out of here somewhere. If we bring this down to height 4, bring that there. Turn off snapping. So that is the nitrogen. And then we want to prioritize that output. So if you can use it, use it. Let's get that built so this can actually carry on working. We need a little bit of hydrogen. Well, hydrogen we have... I think that's a hydrogen pipe. Yes, but that's the output from that. Should be... Is it that one there? Yes. There's already a balancer there, which is prioritizing the hydrogen output over to this cracking unit. So if we take another output from there... That can come over here. Where are we trying to get to? Over there. This can come alongside this one. And then it can drop down to height 3 to go there. And there. And there. And then to turn snapping back on. And then if we go over to that balancer. We go over to that balancer, which should now have an extra output on and also prioritize that output. And then if we unity that, and then if we unity this, this will now make us a little bit extra nitrogen, which we can plug in to into where? Hang on. It's going to put you there for the moment. So these are the bits which use the nitrogen. The nitrogen comes in the green pipe. No, that's fertilizer. Nope. Not nitrogen, ammonia. So yeah, that's that one, isn't it? This goes into a balancer just here. But do we want... I don't think we want that balancer, because that balancer says... prioritizes the ammonia going out to the fertilizer, or send it down here to be turned into nitrogen and hydrogen. We don't want to plug it into that and have it being turned back into nitrogen and hydrogen. What we want is another balancer, which we're not going to be able to fit in there, unfortunately. Because it's going to complain about the connector there. So what we could do is just for now is delete that one. And delete that one and that one. Unity that. Unity that. And then get the balancer in there. So we can connect those together. Unity that back in so it's working. And then that pipe that I brought in to here. Has to come over to here. And then we will prioritize this input over that one, so it's always using the input from the whatchamacallit, sour water strippers. Oh, hold on. Oh, that was something else. Yeah, that was something else that was quite important. Right, yes, I'd forgotten about that. So we have started losing... Oh, they've just dumped a whole bunch of waste there because the hydrogen tank went. I knew that was going to happen, and I just sort of forgot about it. Darn, darn, darn. Let's bring all that back to there. Yeah, so we had a hydrogen tank there, which is why that's just dumped a whole bunch of waste there now. Okie dokie. So we need the sand coming out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's fine. Go there. Go there. Go there. So we need that. We also, quite importantly, could do with having this, come on, there you go, this iron ore coming in. So if we don't have that, well, we're in trouble. You can't go there at height 4, that's fine. So I think I'm going to have to go around this side. Can you come over there? I don't want you to go that way. So I don't want you to go that way. So that's kind of horrible. Can I break you back to there? And do that. That's a bit better in terms of pillar placement. Let's get that built. Because right now we don't have any iron ore coming in, which is a problem for us. We don't have any electronics. Hello, electronics. Because we don't have any copper, because we don't have any sand. And that is purely because that belt was broken. So all of these sand diggers were dropping just full loads of sand into here, and then it was going absolutely nowhere. Do we want to speed that belt up? Because the sand comes out. No, that's limestone. That's sand. The sand comes out at Mark 2 speed, yet that bit, yeah, that's a mistake us building at that Mark 1. That's what that was. That should have been Mark 2 the whole time. Okay, that's the sand coming out. Beautiful. That's the iron ore going in. Also beautiful. And immediately getting chucked back out into the system. Excellent. We can get rid of a few more of those. Wonderful. And that should hopefully get copper being made soon. Where's my sand? There's one bit of sand. Can we have some more sand, please? Is that okay? I asked really, really nicely. I would very much like to see more sand coming out. It's getting there. It's getting there. The sand at this point is fed by 2 Mark 1 belts. So let's upgrade that. And then it's fed by... Oh, it's a Mark 2 belt, but that's only a Mark 2 belt, so I'd have to upgrade it all the way back. That's probably fine. It's about as fast as it's going to get, but that should be enough when we're looking over here. Yeah, we're starting to see the sand come back in, so we're getting copper being made, so we should have electronics being made. Okay, cool. Tree planter struggling to find a destination it can reach. That's absolutely fine. This means you planted all the trees you can. Okay, what were we doing? We're doing something over here, weren't we? So we did this, and we've got the nitrogen going out, and that is now working with some hydrogen and things. So yeah, if that fills up with nitrogen, because these are working flat out, or we have nitrogen coming from the sour water strippers, that's absolutely great. That should mean we are making more fertilizer, in theory, hopefully. That's the plan. All that CO2 is now going over to here somewhere. Where are we? Exhaust scrubbers. Goes into here, where it gets immediately sent back down to here, and what can't be used is still vented for now. Unfortunately, we could set up more graphite production, but is that worth it, is the question, and the answer is probably no. Something I do want to do is to change this from being naphtha to hydrogen. In fact, if I cancel that, just tell trucks to keep this empty, quick remove that, tell that to be fuel gas, tell trucks to keep that full. Perfect, I want that to be fuel gas rather than naphtha. Part of the reason for that is that, not you, naphtha creates pollution, fuel gas creates CO2. CO2 is kinder for us. So that's a better thing to burn there. Okay, everything else over here is looking pretty hunky-dory. We've got a little bit of gold in stock. Excellent. So we can get rid of this now. And there's a little sneak peek there if you were eagle-eyed about what was coming up next. So this is now generating 12 nitrogen. The nitrogen is full, which just means these are working flat out. And it looks like they're getting fertilizer organic in fast enough, which means these should be working pretty flat out. Fertilizer 2, we're struggling to get out there a bit. How much do you make? You make 72, and that's a Mark 1 pipe. Yeah, okay, fair enough. That's not good enough. Fair play. Fair play. Right then. So, I think that's all the little things we needed to worry about. We could probably do with some more trucks, because our trucks are heavily overworked at the moment. What we could also do is we could get the dirt dumpometer. Yep, perfect. You are going to come and you, excuse me, are going to dirtify the old coal mine. So that will be completely done. So we're going to come down to dumping. We're going to clear all of that. We're going to say at height 4, do all of that, do all of that, do all of that, and do all of that. And then we're just going to clear some of this bit up because we didn't need all that extra bit. That's just me trying to save myself a few seconds by causing myself to spend a few more seconds doing stuff. Cool. So that should now be dumping dirt over there. So we're going to go in here and take dirt off there as a global dumping option. We're then going to come over here and say trucks can now export from there again. Perfect. Okay, okay. We should be seeing more electronics coming in, really. Because we're not making many of these. But we're not sort of seeing them start to back up. It could be just because we've built loads of bits. So our production down there has increased quite a lot. As long as our maintenance is keeping up, I suppose. That's all that really matters. I don't care about that. Don't care about that. It's already gone. We have a low supply of steel. Possibly that was due to the iron ore shortage before. Yeah, I think we're getting to the point where we need to start thinking about building more of these or upgrading them. Sandy control tower has nothing to mine. Well, that can be quite easily fixed. We're just going to push this over to here. Increase this up here. And then we're going to have to shrink down the iron mining one because that is clearly going to cause us problems. So you are going to do all of that and all of that. And actually we do need to cut into the stuff we have thrown down a little bit. Because if we have a look at this, there is actually quite a lot of sand underneath the rock that we put on top of the water. So we are going to have to dig out most of this again. That is what it is, though. It is what it is. Before we unpause the game, iron control tower, which is over by the captain's office now. Edit the area. Let's just draw a new rectangle. You are now just going to do that. Maybe a bit more. Can't quite remember. That'll probably do. So if we have a look over here, there's a little bit of iron here, which you've literally just finished digging out. So we just need to do this bit here, which means I could really do with these being empty pretty soon. And that's that. So, had a moment of panic that I forgot to hit record, but we're fine. Not enough fuel to refuel a vehicle. That's okay. That's just because our trucks are busy. Let's build a couple more of those. A couple more haul dump trucks. Something that David pointed out in the comments is that haul dump trucks cannot carry flat goods. They can only carry loose products, as it says right there. I was aware of that. I know I haven't been building any more of these. My thinking being the more haul trucks we have and the more loose products they're carrying around, the more it frees up the little trucks to go and do stuff. Hopefully. I mean, that makes sense to me. Hopefully that makes sense to the trucks. Right. It's definitely not an actual fuel shortage. It's just trucks getting around to do all that. We could put a haul truck on this dude. We could also make more. What we should, hold on a second. Hold on one moment. Not any of those. Thank you. All hydrogen now. All hydrogen going forward. Thank you very much. Looks like we have another health epidemic going. We do indeed. Well, that takes us neatly over to the next part of the video. I have finally designed the medical goods. Finally. So this box here is roughly the size of the area we have to build in. This was the maximum length I wanted it to be, this one here, so we can get rid of this. We can get rid of this, we can get rid of this, and we can get rid of this. So what do we have going on over here? We have new buckets for corn and sugarcane. Whether we need new buckets, I don't know, but we've got them. Just lets us store more. Fine, whatever. Starting with the corn then, because it's been a little while since we looked at this. The corn goes into mills and gets added with some water to make some corn mash and a little bit of animal feed. The animal feed comes off this belt here and is going to get shoved into the animal feed belt, which will be about here. The corn mash goes into fermentation tanks with a bit of oxygen to make ethanol and CO2. Okay, so far so good. That's sort of the easy bits. The sugarcane goes into a food processor to get mixed with some water to make some sugar and some biomass. The biomass is going to come out here and somehow connect down into the waste processing unit down at the bottom next to the town. Don't really know how yet. The sugar goes into a fermentation tank as well with some ammonia and some oxygen and makes antibiotics and more carbon dioxide. Okay, so we need ammonia and oxygen. Well, oxygen's easy. We get an air separator that gets us some oxygen and some nitrogen. Then, to get the ammonia, we get some hydrogen, and we take the nitrogen from here to make ammonia. Do you see why I suddenly thought of doing that down there now, down at the oil processing area? Do you see where I suddenly had that little flash of inspiration? Wonderful. The other thing we're going to do, though, is we're going to take the carbon dioxide that both of these are producing, we're going to take that in here, mix that with some hydrogen, we're going to make even more ethanol. Oh, we're going to make even more ethanol. Why not? And I think, yeah, I've got that prioritized, so it will always use this bit first. So I'm hoping that we will be able to carry or cover all of the carbon dioxide that this makes. In theory, that makes 24, that makes another 12. We might need another one just to make sure, but we're just going to see how it goes. Okay, so that's all very good. That's all very exciting. The nitrogen goes into this balancer here, so it prioritizes going to this, but if it can't use it all up, it sticks it into an exhaust. Cool. And that gets us that little bit of ammonia that we need, and that goes somewhere over there. We only need 3 ammonia, that makes 6. So that's absolutely fine. Awesome. Right, what's next? So we have the ethanol. The ethanol comes down to a chemical plant and gets mixed with some plastic and makes disinfectant. We only need 1 of those because that makes 24 disinfectant. That is going to go into these assemblers, which use 12 disinfectant each, but they also need 12 medical equipment. The medical equipment is steel and plastic, so we've got 4 of these because they make 6 each. So that will end up with 24, which will be split across these 2. And then these 2 feed into the next tier of assemblers, which do medical supplies into medical supplies 2, along with the antibiotics that we're making up here. Excellent. And then we've got the inputs down here. So we've got steel, plastic, and hydrogen, which we need. I think we also need a bit of water, which I think is this pipe here. And the reason there's an input is because this makes a little bit of water. So if we can get water from this, we will use that. In fact, I'm thinking we definitely should just right now, whilst we are thinking about it, come down here and make another one of these. Because if this is running at full whack, we know for an absolute fact that it is not going to be able to cope with the demand. Why has that got hydrogen and CO2? All right, yes, well, I had 2 CO2 pipes coming in. I see. So you're going to stay at height 1. You're going to plug into there. Hello. Into there, and then we are going to want to bring this one back as well. Stop magneting, please and thank you. So you're going to come over to about, how am I going to do this? Okay, so that comes down too soon. So we want you to do that. You, I want to come to... Hang on, I'm getting myself confused. Let's just bring you all the way over there for the moment. Wait a second. I'm getting confused what I plugged in there now. So you use hydrogen and nitrogen. The hydrogen is this pipe here. This is nitrogen. So we don't need nitrogen. So what we're doing with that? This needs hydrogen and CO2. So we've got the hydrogen coming over. That's fine. The CO2... Oh, is this pipe? Or is this pipe? I was taking this pipe. We want this pipe. That is what was confusing me. Okay. And then we need to figure out how we are going to do this. We could put it into a balancer, but I think I'll do something silly like this instead. Turn on the old F. Do something silly like that. Okay, so now I know at least we're covered for all of the carbon dioxide coming out, even if they aren't running full whack. So then we have this one, which is the water, which is fine. And then we have the ethanol, which we're going to bring into there. Perfect. Okay, excellent. Bit happier with that now. So let's come back down. Oh, also, by the way, how much of this are we using now? 24. We definitely don't need all of these. So let's pause 1, 2, 3. That gives us 40. If we've got 24, let's leave it on 40. Let's pop down here, because something else someone pointed out was it's kind of silly having any auto balancers on these, because this will always just output at the maximum it can. But if we turn this on, which uses 12 teraflops, it will now balance the demand of the steam, and these will then actually balance the power usage that they're requiring. So that's going to help. And it looks like, what are we on? 57, 56. And if we pause half of these, 94, I think it's 64 it goes down to, isn't it? Yeah, we might be okay. I mean, we're close. I might put half of those back on again, just to give us that little bit of extra cover. Now they shouldn't really be running, because these should all be set to a, not those, these should all be set to a significantly lower priority than the nuclear power. Anyway, right, let's come over here. So we need to get rid of all of, in fact, let's not do that because it's just going to make things silly. Let's do a cut. Boop, you are gone. I want to tidy this up. In fact, I want all of that pipe gone. I didn't want it to go all the way up there. Okay, so that goes into the balancer. I thought it was connecting. It does connect into there, but then it... Wait, what? Oh, no, it goes underneath there. I see that now. Okay. And then you, same thing. I want the animal feed belt broken back to there. Let's unity those. This goes next to this. Yeah. Transport position was not found. There we go. So we can get the animal feed working again. And then this water pipe will probably have to stay there just because of it's got that extra one there coming in. But that one isn't actually used anymore. So maybe we could get away with getting rid of that. Getting rid of that. Unity and all of that. Taking that from there up to height 5, keeping it nice and straight. Bringing that in there. Turning off magnet. Ah, there's a pipe that's there. I see. Well, at this point, we can just say connect into there pretty much however you want. Perfect. Let's unity that. So that is those pipes out of the way. Now something, now that I've just done that, something we are going to want to do here is we are going to need access into this area because we do have, oh, I deleted something I didn't want to delete, didn't I? We do have storages that need to be filled by trucks. It's not going to stay there. I just want to, if we wanted to duplicate all of this, it goes up to this one here with that tree. Okay. Let's come back up here and grab this, or this one here with this tree. So if we put this about here, that should be absolutely fine. It gives us a little bit of room at the top for maneuvering. It gives us room down here to expand this should we need to. We are going to need trucks to get in here, however. But before we do that, there are a couple of things we need to do. So we need water. That's going to go in there. We have animal feed. That's going to go in there. And we have biomass, which we have to get here. Somehow, some way, this needs to come up to there. Perfect. Now that probably doesn't need to be a Mark II belt, so let's downgrade that. Again, cannot explain how much I love that downgrade option. Because I don't think we're going to need a Mark II there. That's fine. Awesome. So that is now, or it's not, because what we need to do is gain access into this area for our trucks. So actually we do need to get rid of this again. Hey diddly ho. It's always something you forget. Then we're going to need a small vehicle ramp. We're going to pop that in there. We're going to copy this. We're going to take this down to height 0. It's going to come under here. It's going to plug it into there. Job done. So we can unity those. That is the vehicle ramp done. And then the last thing we need to do is think about how we're going to get the medical supplies into a clinic or hospital building. We've got no room down here to do that. We've got no room here to do that. So it sort of has to be here. Truck is struggling to find a destination it can reach. Why? You've got a ramp down there. You can come along there. You can drive there. Yeah, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. You definitely can. Or have you just got yourself stuck there because they dug out too much? You've just got yourself stuck there because they dug out too much. That is actually a pretty major concern because we have just cut off our ore sorter. Okay. Well, there is no more iron there. Let's immediately stop them doing that. No thank you. No thank you. Is the iron tower told not to dump anything? No. Excellent. Dumping designation, height 4, here. Immediately. How can I make that a high priority? I don't know. We can turn off the other dump-ins. Technical term, don't look it up. Because I now want, like yesterday, that fixed. The iron control tower thinks it has nothing that it can dig up. Sure, we can fix that. Ah, was the last thing it can dig up, actually, is this bit. So let's give it a little bit. It can dig up here. A little bit it can dig up there. Okay, so they have access back over there again. That's the main thing. What are you complaining about now? Why don't you go and dig? Ah, right. Okay, so actually that all needs to be a -8. There you go. And then we need to quite rapidly get some of these up and running and get rid of all of these. So delete all of those. Quick remove. Quick remove. Quick remove. We haven't got a lot of Unity. Problems. Quick remove. Quick remove. Okay. Well, trucks can't take anything into these. So if we tell it to delete these as well. Okay, now that we know trucks can get down there, I might turn that off for a moment. Just because otherwise they're going to be dumping stuff that we're trying to dig up again, which is going to help absolutely no one. So let's turn that off. Let's turn this back on. Let's turn this back on as well. So they've got 2 areas they can dump. This is slowly getting covered with dirt and it looks fantastic. You have got yourself stuck because you're an idiot. I pressed the wrong button because I'm an idiot. Everyone's an idiot. There we go. That was you, that's fine. We have a low supply of iron ore. Do we? Is that just an old one? I think we're fine for iron ore. A low supply of steel is entirely true, on the other hand. But the main thing is we've got a mechanical parts going. Again, I think it's just because we've been building quite a lot. Okay, so trucks can get down there. Little trucks can get around there should they need to. Everyone can dump stuff. That's all fine. So, back over here, we need to be able to get these supplies up here somewhere. Now, we probably don't want that there. I'm just going to delete that for now. Does that just stop there? That just stops there anyway. That's absolutely fine. Because we're probably going to want more food markets along the top here somewhere. Bearing in mind we're going to have to get sugarcane in here, which is probably going to have to go in an awkward place. Let's not worry about that. Let's go down here. So, how are we doing? 43 minutes. Recorder hasn't crashed. Definitely doing audio. Everything's good. So we have got the food markets. We have not got. We have not got. We have not got. We have got. We have got. We have got. We have got, but we got rid of. We have got. We do not have. So this is what we need. We might have to move this bridge over this side potentially. I'm going to put it there. I don't want to put it that side of the bridge. So if we have a look here and we say we were going to give you medical supplies too. You want 20 medical supplies too. This produces 48. So we have got medical supplies too coming out the wazoo, mate. I'm just going to stick that on there so I can flip that around. And then we're going to look at this whole truck and see it's complaining it can't get somewhere, but it doesn't even know where it's trying to get. So what do you want me to do about that? Like, what could I possibly do to make your life better, eh? Let's bring this up to height 5. Turn off the snapping, so you're going to go there. Let's bring this to there and along here. And then I was hoping you'd be able to jump over, but you do not want to. You can do that. That'll do for now. So if we do that, turn snapping back on, plug you in there. We're good to go. Like, seriously, we're good to go. I think we need all of this. So, oh, hold on. We're not good to go. We're an idiot. We haven't got the farms. And we haven't got the corn being fed in either. So, the corn is on the top belt. Yep. Yep. We don't actually have a lot of corn coming out anymore. Which is, in itself, quite concerning. We are eating 14 corn a month. Where are my corn farms? So you're making 9. I clicked on the same one. You're making 9. You're making another 9. So we should be making more corn than we need. So what we need to do is remove a bit of this. Remove a couple of these. Unity that. We are going to need a loose shaped balancer, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is going to plug in there. We are going to prioritize coming out here. And you are going to plug in there. And then you, we're going to have to get rid of another one of you, I suspect. And you are going to have to find a silly route around there, which is absolutely fine. We also, however, need sugarcane, which is not currently coming out there. So maybe we don't worry about that for now. Let's get those bits built so we can... Whoa, now, Sally, my friend. Not you. Not you. You need to come over to here. On a Mark II belt. That's absolutely fine. Okay, right. Let's unpause that. And unpause that. If we can unity that and that would be great because we could at least get the corn being stored. We are suddenly having a spike in the demand, which means we're probably building more stuff down there. So we can unpause those, which fixes that problem. And then we need to get more farms down. If we're going to get more farms down, we need to get rid of that. We are probably going to have to move these. I say probably. We definitely have to move these belts as well, which could be a problem. We might need to make this into a large bridge to somehow figure this out. Because we ideally, and we also want to get rid of a lot of this surface. I don't want you. I want to remove surface. If we were going to put down another farm, it's going to go pretty much up to the beginning of that bridge. So if we remove surfaces from here up to the beginning of that bridge, about there. That should be okay. I'm just going to get rid of that little bit as well. Okay. So actually that doesn't have to move very... Well, no, the problem is these have to move. These have to move. So I think we are going to need another bridge, which I'm instead going to put in here. I would then like to take this one, because that can come straight under there like that. Let's... I'm going to have to remove that. Or I can bring this back one more. Or even 2 more. So you're going to go there. I'm going to come from there. We want to go down to there. That is absolutely perfect. Thank you, my friend. And then we need to remember that iron is on the right. So we're going to bring this up to height 5. You are going to go over to... Yep, no, what you were doing then was perfect. Do that. Excellent. So you're going to come over here. You're going to come to... I'm going to bring you a few more tiles out. And then you are going to come and plug straight back in there, like that. And then the coal. The coal... Nope. Okay, let's get rid of another one of those, because that's obviously confusing matters. The coal... Oh, we've just broken that. Hang on. Oh, I thought that got rid of the whole thing then for a second. Don't tell me, though, now this is not going to connect back into there. It's absolutely unbelievable, isn't it, how this game works sometimes. Done it again. Why do you keep doing this to me? I want you to connect to there. To not go into the red area. Do you know what? That's not fine. Stop it. There. Just do that. Whatever, game. Whatever. So you can come under there at height 2. To there at height 3. And then to there at height 4. So we can bring you to there. Connect you into there. We can unity that and that, maybe. Actually, that bridge is completely pointless because we're going to have farms there. We actually want the bridge to go like here. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Hilarious, me. Hilarious, you absolute clown. Okay, well, that's fine. It's done for now. What that does mean is we can get rid of that chunk and that chunk, which is the main thing, because then we actually have room to put down the farms. And then we can also get rid of that. Excellent. We have basically no unity. That's fine. So we are starting to store some corn in here, which is great. That's what we want to see. We cannot get the sugarcane planted. Oh, I suppose we could possibly get the sugarcane planted if we put that in there. Now that already has the water and the fertilizer pipes in, which is amazing. And then we need to figure out... So pause the game because we don't want you doing that. Stop doing that. So we definitely want sugarcane. Do we want sugarcane and more corn? Possibly. That gives us 25 sugarcane. We need 15. So that might, assuming we get the fertilizer target we are trying to hit, that might be enough sugarcane straight off the bat. We do need to get this plugged in. Sugarcane and... Where does sugarcane come out? Okay, doesn't tell me there. First time it has not told me. Loose storage, sugarcane. Okay, so they're both going to be U's. You probably don't need to be a Mark 3. A Mark 1 will be fine for you. You probably will need to be upgraded because you've got a lot of stuff to carry down here. At some point this gets upgraded, doesn't it? Oh, no, you have your own belt that goes into here and goes down to here. So I think... what we want then, let's just make sure that I've got that right. So you go to there where you already filter out something. So you filter out wheat and corn, which then go on to this speedier one. And then you filter out the corn there. And that does look like we could probably get... So if we come over here and we filter out wheat, corn, and sugarcane, that'll go onto the speedy belt. So what doesn't get? suppose potatoes and the such like. That'll go onto the speedy belt. If we get rid of this for the moment. Did I miss one? I did. So you are now going to filter out sugar cane as well. Let's unity that with our huge amounts of unity that we have. And then you... Can I just put another filter on straight away? No, wait. Wait a second. You filter out corn. So we don't want you filtering out the sugar cane. We want this to go straight on. Then we want that to go into another U-shaped sorter, which can go there. And then you are going to filter out sugar cane. I need to make sure are Mark 3. Not even close. Yeah, that's neat enough. And then, rather annoyingly, sugarcane is on that side. But I can't really fit it in another bucket there because I put all those belts right next to it. Because I didn't consider the fact that we might want to actually plant more products at some point. That's my bad. Another one of my bads. So we're going to pop that one there. This is now going to be sugarcane. I do not care if you are filled or emptied or anything. You are there purely to feed sugarcane into this setup over here. Somehow, some preferably not disgusting way, I will realize that I very nearly blocked that whole thing off. Okay, that definitely doesn't need to be a Mark III belt. That can be a Mark I belt. And that is a Mark III belt there. We'll keep that at a Mark II just to make sure stuff is flowing fast. Cool! So we need this belt, this belt, this belt, and this belt. We may as well also build this. And that's pretty much the end of our unity. But we can then tell the rest of this to get built. And the trucks will have to deal with it. The trucks are super speedy. Oh, we also need to do this, I suppose. That would help, right? That would help. Once we have cleared these surfaces, which I'd love to unity, the flattenator has finished doing stuff over here. That's great. Oh no, it's down here, wasn't it? Oh, that is looking great. Good job, you. Good job, you. So we just need to give you more to dig. You already actually have. Make sure there are no little silly bits underneath here that weren't marked or just on like the edge. That's fine. Let's just get rid of all that so it's gone. And then you can do all of that. That's fine, that'll give you something to do. We still have a low supply of steel. It is slowly starting to tickle up now. The other thing we want to do, and how much of this do we have free? Again, we have a little bit free, is we want to get this up and running. So we also want to unpause all of that. Haul truck is struggling to find a destination it can reach. Yes. Don't worry about it. You are not designed to be able to get there. Or there. So it's cool. It's all cool, mate. Don't worry. Same thing with you. Trucks probably can't get there. It's fine. So we are slowly building up our medical center. Now, this is probably going to be relatively temporary. At some point, we're going to want to build, as I mentioned, I watch JD's series. And what he's done is he's built a huge food processing plant here, which does everything. I say built, he's sort of like, doing it in stages, but he's got all the blueprints down, so it does all your cakes and everything. And it deals with all the byproducts, it burns all the fuel gas off that stuff might produce, it does literally everything. So we might want to think about doing something like that. Oh, hello, rain. I feel like it hasn't rained for a while. We might want to think about doing something like that at some point. Maybe not quite to his scale, but if we can like... If we can flatten out like this bit, so it's pretty much in line with where that pipe is, we could get like a huge row of farms in here. Bear in mind we do actually have now 16 farms. If we can get like a whole bunch of farms in here, and then build some food processing stuff down here. Obviously we would then need to belt that in down there, but that's not too big of an issue. We probably want to dig this up at some point to straighten this up, aren't we? Just to make it look all neat. Just to make it look all neat. But let's just let them deal with the dirt for the moment, I suppose. Which they are doing. Trucks can pick up from here. They're just not. And that's probably because there's enough dirt in these to keep them busy. Yes, and trucks are obviously extremely busy. So let's not go to there. Let's come down here and let's get another 3 of those. And you are on hydrogen, aren't you? And another 3 of those. Oh! And we have lab equipment Mark IV. That does mean we also need to upgrade these. And we need to upgrade this one. Otherwise, we cannot actually do any research. And we are now over. We're over. We have too much of this. So I think we actually need 2 of these, and we also need to, well, not unity them because we don't have any unity. But we also need to get that up and running. And they are probably a priority. And not that one. That one. Just looked at the same one again. I think it was 10 before. But yeah, we need to get those built, because if we're oversubscribed on these, that's a problem for us. It's a problem. We don't want that. That's bad. Okay. So this is actually all being built. You are complaining trucks can't get to you. I don't care. You are complaining trucks can't get to you. I also do not care, as are you. I care not. What I want is hydrogen down here. And what I want is plastic down here. And what I want is steel down here. Without those products, ain't nothing going to work. So you've fed corn and water into these, but you've already filled up with the corn mash. And you have filled up with corn mash and oxygen, but you can't get rid of your CO2. You can't get rid of your CO2 because your CO2 is trying to come into these with hydrogen to be turned into ethanol and water. Whether we're going to need to put a little balancer on the CO2 to exhaust additional stuff, I don't know, but I think we should be able to cover enough of it now. Not enough maintenance 3. Oh, hold your shiny little horses. Okay. Maintenance 3 is now a thing. Everyone rejoice. Where does maintenance live? Maintenance. Every time I need it, I can never find it. Maintenance. Is it under production? It's under maintenance. Maintenance depot, maintenance depot basic, maintenance depot 2. I don't have a maintenance depot 3. What does it need maintenance 3? You need maintenance 3. But I do not have maintenance. Maintenance 3 comes with the data center. So I literally need to run those. Oh, it's because that comes after that. You're not expected to have that before that necessarily, but yeah, okay. I probably could have plugged this into there then. Well, let's see if we get enough research out of these before they break. Otherwise, what we'll do is we'll put this up to here, unpause these, and run those ones. Let's see if we can get that researched before then. In fact, what I might do is, if we could unity that, unpause that, unpause that, unpause that, unpause that. Realize we're definitely not going to have enough unity. Come down to the captain's office. Turn down the recycling efficiency. Okay. Not enough workers now. Oh, that's an entirely different problem. That's an entirely different problem. If I wanted to Unity that, it's going to cost me 6. Let's do that. What I don't have is enough Unity to come and... Oh, I do. Get some more workers. Get some more workers. It's fine. They want to come. It's fine. They definitely want to come and join my island. And let's unpause the beacon in case that beats it faster than that. What can we pause in the meantime? We have a demand of 63 teraflops. So we could probably get away with pausing a couple of those. We are using 64 megawatts of power, so I doubt we can pause any of that. That can be paused. And that solves that problem. And in fact, we could probably also unload the crew from you because you're not really doing anything. And I don't think you will be for some time. Cool. Okay, so that's that solved. We have products down here. Did you just drive over here for fun? Oh no, you came over here to refuel. Oh, okay. That's fine. And then a little one came over to do that. So we are seeing everything working. We have got medical parts 1 coming out. You're going to go into here, but we need the antibiotics. We are out of maintenance 3, but that is to be pretty much expected. So you are going to come down here. You should be making 8, 16, 24. You need 24. And we're going to make medical Mark IIs. Amazing. It has been a long time since we had medical Mark IIs. Like, it has been a long time. Well, since we needed them, sorry. Since we've been talking about it. Like, we've been talking about it for so long. Research Lab 3 does not have enough Unity. That's fine. We're going to just pause these ones for now. Because they're out of maintenance anyway, and they're probably quite broken. They're pretty broken. They're not 100% broken, but they're a little bit broken. I wonder why Unity just went down like that. Not enough maintenance 2, however, is horrific. It's horrific. Maintenance 2. Let's have a little look at this. We have not gone over the... No, we're 350. But we dropped in our production because we're not getting electronics 2. Why are we not getting electronics 2? I'm going to pause that a second. It's because we just started using electronics 3 to make these. And we've used quite a lot of them, in fact. So because we did that, that was unable to keep up with the demand. So, electronics 2, 6, 12, 24, 30. You use only 12. You use only 2, 4, 6, only 20. And you use 12, 32. So we do slightly use more than we are actually producing. So we probably do need to do this. Just so we can keep up with that demand. We should be seeing maintenance 2 going up again. Why are we not? Let's pause that belt. Just make sure all the electronics 2 are going over here. And only going over here. We could probably do with putting a balancer in place here. Just to say it's much more important they go down there. In fact, let's do that. No, I don't have the Unity. I might not have the Unity to build it, so let's not do that. Okay, but importantly, we do have Research 3 built, even though it's not working all that well at the moment. We have got the research labs built, which look phenomenal. Look at them. I love them. We have got sugar bean and corn being grown here, which is being sent down here at some point. The corn is not prioritized because we changed the port it was coming out of. So it's still been going down there, but that's absolutely fine. Now it's going to the right place. We have got sugar cane in stock because this is full of sugar, because this is full of CO2. Why are you full of CO2? Because you cannot get rid of the ethanol, even though that ethanol is a priority. Is there anything else we can do with ethanol? We can vent it for 1/3 pollution. We can flare it for 1/3 pollution, sorry. Or we can turn it into CO2. Or we can turn it into steam, sorry, in a boiler. We can turn it into diesel. We can use chlorine to turn it into plastic. And that's about it. So it's a 3-to-1 ratio in terms of pollution. Carbon dioxide, if we can put this on a smaller one so it's easier to see, is a 4-to-1. So carbon dioxide is better to vent than air pollution. So we need to... Oh, I put these belts right there like a clown. Oh, I've done the wrong one there. We're probably going to have to come back one more, actually. So let's do that. Let's get a fluid balancer, which is going to go there. We're going to connect that. We're going to connect that there. We're going to connect that there. And we're going to then think about how we're actually going to get into and out of that. Because we genuinely can't. So let's bring this back. I want to connect to the balancer, please. Let's bring that over there. Let's bring that in down there. Let's unity that. You are prioritizing that output. If you cannot do that, you can come over to a smokestack and chuck the carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. At least we are trying to use it. At least we're trying to use it. You are not supposed to be connected, so that's fine. Okay, so any carbon dioxide it cannot process because we have too much ethanol in the system, which means these are probably not running all that much. We're probably not going to use all that much corn. I don't know. We probably do want storage for medical too, which we do not currently have. It seems foolish not to have it, doesn't it? So let's get some flat storage in here. Connect that to there. Unity that, and then delete that. At least then we can buffer it if we need to. We still don't have enough maintenance too, which is definitely concerning. Because all of our electronics 3, or electronics 2, sorry, are going down there. Like, it's doing nothing else apart from going down to this box here. And we are struggling a little bit to catch up. We're just about, but our usage and our demand are pretty equal at the moment. What are we about to destroy now? Yes, it's because it's because I ran out of unity. I'm gonna have to turn off all of these for a moment, which is a bit of a pain. I'm also going to pause you and you, because you don't actually have anything coming in anyway, really, because you were relying on the electronics too, although, no, you currently do have them. You're waiting on these, which are missing lab equipment 1, and you're not running because you need mechanical parts. And you're not running because... that's mechanical parts. That plugs into there. What is... that one's going the wrong way. Okay, so you just haven't been running at all. Okay, excellent. Which makes the steel problem potentially worse than it was as well. But with all that pause, we have lots of unity. So let's mark deletion, 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 deletion. You quick remove. You cannot quick remove. But it shouldn't take us long. Can I just pause those for the moment? You can also delete that crazy belt, which means we then need to also build that one. We can now quick remove that. Not enough maintenance 2. Nope, you're not wrong. You can quick remove that. Do we need another maintenance 2 running? Like, we're just not making enough electronics 2, it seems. But we're making 12, 24. Oh. That doesn't help. That definitely doesn't help. Now we're making 12, 24, 36. You should only be consuming 12. So even without that one, quite why this belt is struggling to fill up, I don't know. It doesn't get split off anywhere else, and this one's paused. What was I just thinking? What was I just thinking? Okay, we've got more unity. That's what I was thinking. So we can get rid of that. We can get rid of that. That should all be gone pretty soon. So let's unpause those. And we're on this last little smidgen of iron before we can start filling in this, which is just going to be amazing. Then we're going to have to dig part of it up again to get access to the sand. But that's his own concern. That's his own concern. Okay. It's about time for us to finish up then. So today we've got medical 2 up and running. Whether we're quite making enough at the moment, I don't know. Although we do have corn and sugarcane coming in. So that looks like we are stocked up for those. That's excellent. Actually looks like we're getting sugarcane a bit faster than we can output it, maybe? Possibly. We have planned for another 2 farms to go in to cover whatever crops it is we might need. Not a lot at the moment, to be honest, but it's there. We just need the trucks to actually come and do it, but the trucks are all horrifically busy, which is a problem. Maintenance 2 looks like it is now fixed. That one extra assembler has just saved our bacon there, I think. In which case... well, not yet. Let's wait for it to get to full. When we come back next time, we'll unpause all of these and then just try to get that data center research done so we can get maintenance 3. Where are we going to build maintenance 3, you ask? I haven't got a clue. I haven't got a clue. It's an absolute, or there is an extra one. You take electronics 2 as well. I, for some reason, thought you were fed off of that belt, but you're not. You have your own belt. But we could probably get away with unpausing that one now. just because it's starting to back up a little bit anyway. Cool. So today we got Research Labs 4. We got Research Labs built. We've done this. We have got, hopefully, a good chunk of medical supplies in here. We do. That should help ward off any flu as well as getting us more maintenance. Speaking of, let's do a few of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. That should be fine. What else have we done? We've basically finished the iron mine with a couple of emergency pauses to get rid of the wood. We've finally gotten rid of that wood storage. That's incredible. We are running half of our old power station currently because we're terrible. We can get rid of this now, so we have no blueprints waiting to go. Interesting. The gold mine is running spectacularly, he says. It's not. You're out of acid because you are waiting on water. So this system is no longer making enough water because you are full of brine. And because you are full of brine, you won't produce any more water. Okay. Let's very quickly do that. Put a fluid balancer in there. Where is the water out? That is this one. So I'm just going to try connecting you to there. There and there. You are going to prioritize that, but if you can't output down there, you will send it over to this pipe. My thinking being, if we have too much brine, then we are not making water, so that should be fine. Settlement is overcrowded because we just allowed the... Oh, blimey, Charlie. We don't need you anymore. That's fine. Don't worry about it. But we will now do need to pause another house. That's fine. Truck can't find a destination, but you're not going to tell me where. So what do you want me to do about it? You're going to go there. You can already reach there. That's fine. Okay, yeah, we have 455 people now. I've let that get out of hand a little bit. I didn't hear the dings. I saw the green thing up there, and I was like, I wonder why that's green. We should have a look at that. I didn't actually click what was going on. So this should now be fine. I guess the problem being this will always run now, because it is now going to get rid of the water and the brine, which is a bit of a pain. I don't really need it always running because it's just always going to be chucking water away, but hey-ho. Right, we can get rid of that message. That'll be fixed soon. We also started off harvesting over here again. We have, because I can see there's a full truck and a tree harvester there. So we've got trucks over here starting to clear the rest of the trees off the island. Cool. Well, what is next, I guess, is the question. That's a good question. That's a good question. I applaud your question. What belt is paused here? The soybean belt. That's fine. Because we're not making enough tofu again. Nope. It's absolutely ridiculous. But we've got lots of soybeans there. So is this just not able to keep up with tofu demand anymore? We have a demand of 25. Yep, we're just not able to keep up with tofu demand. So if I remember, tofu next time needs to be addressed in some way. Maybe one of the next things we do is we think about building some proper food processing facilities. And doing that where there's a lot of space up here or up here. Like here would be good, but there's going to be a while till this is all filled in. We've got the tiniest bit of iron left over here. Let's just see what they are set to mine. Yeah, I do need you to go back like another tile just there as well. And that should hopefully be it. And then we can start filling this mine in. Oh, and that's going to feel so good. This one is now completely covered, almost, he said, very nearly lying. We have a tiny little bit over there. We still have all the dirt in the world. It's just that it's not a priority for them to empty. Because it's not being told to empty, actually. I could tell them to keep it, like, a little bit empty. Just so they will... Oh, but I suppose they are doing it. I don't know if we need that. We have a low supply of steel again. We do. I'm wondering if we need another steel smelter up and running. But that's a problem for future months. Cool. So, very busy day. Again, it is all looking fantastic. The copper mine is starting to empty out nicely as well. Once that starts getting pretty empty, we'll probably have to think about belting this in to our ridiculous long belt system. But again, future man's problem. They've actually started clearing up this surface now, which is great because we can get a couple more farms in. And then we'll take it from there, what comes next, I guess. One thing we could do is we could look through here very quickly, get rid of that. We've done nuclear reactor 2, we've done lab, we don't need to worry about that. We've done microchips, we've done medical supplies, we've done hydrogen mega vehicles. We have not done the tier 4 assemblers. We have done basic computing. We have, I think, done, or at least aware of biodiesel. I don't care about thermal storage. We've done hydrogen cell, vacuum desalination, I'm pretty sure we've done, nuclear reactor we've done, vehicle management we've done, sugarcane we've done, edicts we've done, greenhouse 2, edicts, arc furnace 2, yep, we've done that, gold smelting, edicts, hospital we've done, fermentation we've done, and the large generator we're never going to build, so we can get rid of that as well. So that's going to clear that list up a bit. So maybe finally household goods is on the list. I mean, if we could move... I mean, moving the farms is a huge thing, so we have to get rid of all of these trees. And that's massive. That's a massive amount of storage we need for them. What we could do is tell these that they can now... actually have wood imported, because right now they have nowhere to import wood. So that's a problem, and trucks cannot export from there, because where would they export it? Oh, there is places which need it actually. So yeah, trucks can export from there if they need to, that's fine. So we're actually going to have loads of trucks bringing in wood. One of these I think had an export route set, which would have been you, down to one of these, but maybe we don't need that anymore. But if we do that, that's going to help. If we can get like a whole row of these built back there, and then maybe we do just try to empty this out, because this is the next massive piece of land available to us. If we don't do farming up there, we're going to have to do something, because the space is getting quite limited down here now. Like we've got this little bit here. We've got this little bit here that's opened up to us. But yeah, I think we need to start thinking about prepping that. So next time, prepping this area, getting rid of all these trees, maybe moving tree planting up here. Or even here into our blueprint area, so we leave this free for something we actually need to do at some point. That could be quite useful. Cool. Well, I hope you're enjoying Captain of Industry. If you are, hit the like button, comment, subscribe, all those amazing things. I will see you next time in Captain of Industry. Where are you trying to get to? Yeah, no, that is just a problem for now. You just can't. You just can't. Don't worry about it. And as always, thank you very, very much for joining me.